Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. I have another interesting video, hopefully. This is a 2008 Chevy Silverado LLM or LMM. I have to see in the information. It's a diesel engine, and the customer concern is Ben Miller. That's his name. Is no communication with the EBCM, which is like the anti-lock brake systems. With the RPO codes, which are in the glove box sticker, we find out that this is a LH7 anti-lock brake systems, and that means it has only sensors on the front. But yeah, so he has no communication. He did some wire integrity tests, and he said, Mike, I think I'm not getting the wake-up signal coming from the BCM. I said, I will need both to test. And I was a little hesitant to do this because it's just so time-consuming. And sorry, Ben, that I hold you for a little bit, but I was trying to catch up with everything that I have here going on, and I now doing the test for you. All right, so let me just show you what I have. So connections, this is, let's say, a little simple. This is the EBCM module removed from the ABS unit with the pump and everything. He sent it this way, and that is the BCM. So I have to run all the powers and grounds and everything for each to see what are we missing. So I have two. Well, I have one channel on my oscilloscope connected to the signal that should be coming from the BCM to wake up the module as far as the EBCM goes. But before we go in there, I'm going to show you the information as I normally do. All right, so this is first just connected the BCM, sorry, the EBCM, as you see here. This is the customer information. So it says, truck ABS light is on, traction control light is on, brake light is on, no communication with the EBCM, no wake-up signal from the BCM module, trucks wiring pass all continuity tests. When EBCM was removed, it appears that there has been water ingress into the module, leaving me to believe that there is a bad EBCM and might have shorted out the BCM module as well. Please test both modules and fix as needed. Give me 1 second. All right, so we have his concern. So now let me go back to the capture that we're going to show you, because yeah, indeed, your testing so far, Ben, had been right in the money, and I'm going to show you and prove that, because I always assure to see if the problem is exactly where the technician or the shop or the customer has done, and I need to reproduce that in order to try to repair it. There is a little bit of limitation of not having an entire vehicle, and I'm going to show you why is that, because well, actually, before I go into all the information that I have, or not the information, the test, let me show you what I'm talking about. So these are the wire diagrams that I gathered for everything. This is for the EBCM LH7, which is his design. Is a 28-pin module. This was not so bad as far as connections. We have two powers in here. These are very big wires, and then we got two grounds. And 1 and 18 is power, and then 11 and 28 is grounds. Those are two big wires for communication. All I need is pins 2, which is the GM LAN positive, and pin 12, which is the GM LAN negative. This system on GM, and we're going to see that on the next diagram, it's like a pass-through. So it enters this module and it goes out to the next module. That's why it's like two positive, and like in here, pin 2 and 3, it says GM LAN positive and GM LAN positive, is because it enters in one pin and goes out in the other pin. The pin 19 that I have here, it says communication data. That goes over to the BCM on connector X3 pin 19. And that is a wake-up signal. It provides a voltage through resistors to wake up the module. And this is where it's not coming from here. All right, going into the next, this is the data bus. Can I do this? Can I use the same box? Oh, yes, I can. All right, this is the BCM right here. So again, like you see, even the BCM has going over to the DLC on pin 16 and 17 in connector S3. to DLC pin 6 and 14, can high, can low. Then it goes through the BCM and it goes out into pins 8 and 9 on the same connector on its way to all the rest of the modules. And this will connect to the EBCM or ABS module. This is the BCM color wire diagrams. And I have selected most of the powers and grounds that I think are they're required for this module to talk. And I actually have it talk now, or talking. Let me make this a little bigger. So these wires in here, this one, including this one, are ignitions. This is a constant battery power. And then we have multiple powers. And here's a little hard to understand because the way is the wiring draw in here, because if we go over the fuses, it says LT stop. This one right here says BCM, so I connected that one because it's BCM. But if you go over to the BCM, it just says battery, battery positive, battery positive, battery positive, and so on, right? So, but it's very inconclusive as what you need or not. And obviously the manufacturer might know, or whoever designed this, because that might be just a fuse to provide power for the, the turn signals or the stop lights, because this is BCM, right? So this is like a fuse box or so. They will, not a fuse box, like a module that will turn those lamps on and on as requested by other modules. So, but this is the one is going to provide that power. So it is again, very different setup from older vehicles. This in here is the battery control module. Yeah, this is the battery control module. I actually did my own image, which is going to be a lot easier, at least for me, in testing here, right? So we have the grounds on here. Everything with a star red is power, and the orange is the communication. The only one that I have now marking here is this pin 19 that goes over to the EBCM, and it says in here data communication schematics. Is again very inconclusive of what is that in there for. But remember, this is in connector 3 or X3 pin 19. So if we go over to the diagrams where we were, right? So let me just go over to the color one right here. That pin 19 is here, connector X3, right here, and it also says computer data line systems. Again, it doesn't tell you what that is. The next one is just connectors on the EBCM. I have several of the connectors on the BCM, and then the EBCM diagram original, which I also did my own image. Let me get this here. And I put what I have done in here. So everything else is in here. So I provided the two powers and the two grounds, as I mentioned before. We got the can high and can low, which are all marked in here. Let me just see, where are the communications in here, which should be... No, it's not really here. We have only powers and grounds, and that's it. But yeah, so these I put supply ignition through a test light, because that's exactly the same way that I have it connected in order to make that module talk. But am I providing the correct signal? I'm not sure, but the module is happy and it's talking. So going back to here, because I'm trying to give you as much as information on what I have done. So let me get the SUS and the Pico. So everything is power on right now. I am in the BCM and I can display full codes, so you can see that I am indeed connected. It says device ignition 1, short circuit to battery positive, power mode, input, ambient, passenger, lost communication with trial, high speed communication. I guess we can read full codes. If we go back here, because I selected the vehicle, obviously I don't have the entire car, so I selected manually. But if we go into the anti-lock brake systems and we go into codes menu, display codes, we got connection, right? So it says left front wheel speed sensor, right front wheel speed sensor. It says rear speed sensor, so it has a rear speed sensor probably on the differential. Pump motor, because it's not connected to the pump. It says U 0140 lost communication with the battery control module. lost communication with ECM, BCM. Let me erase this fault code because to see if that EBCM or sorry BCM fault code returned, because probably that was when I had the BCM out. You see right now doesn't have that BCM lost communication with the BCM because it can see the BCM is online. The ECM obviously is not connected. So everything else is reading good. I don't have any problems with your ABS module or EBCM, whatever you want to call this little module. But with the ignition on and talking right now, I have no voltage into that wire. Let me put something else. Let me go here and put a measurement so you can see the maximum voltage into that channel. Come on. And we can see that we have nothing, right? Like minus 50 volts, so zero volts on that. And I am connected on that pin 19 on connector X3. So if we go over to, let me just make sure I am in connector X3 to, let me open connector X3 on my view, just to make sure I am in the correct pin. Yes, so let me just show you that 1 second. You see 19 is on the corner, and that is the connector side. So I'm actually in the left corner, looking the module on the front. I'm in the left corner, first pin. Let me just double check that with my flashlight, 1 second. And I am connected properly. So the other thing that I have done, and it's a little hard to see the way I have it, but that pin goes into the, let me get the wire diagram colored for the EBCM. Let's see if I have it. Enable. Yeah. So it's 19.2 X. That's 19. Oh yeah, so it goes from 19 to 19. Forgot about it. So let me just show you that one in a second. So let me move this out of the way. So the one wire that we're talking about is this green wire. It comes from the EBCM, sorry, from the EBCM here on pin 19 over to the BCM on pin 19. It's just so many, almost the same names, right? So that's the one we have absolutely no power. And I'm going, like I said, I put power through a test light. And the reason I use a test light is because if this is shorted, I don't want to burn it. So the test light will illuminate, which is not, that means it's not short. But if I disconnect this in here, so let me, yeah, you got the scanner in here. I'm going to get out of the display codes. I'm going to unplug this wire right here. So you see now it's unplugged. That's pin 19. And now if I try to go and read fault codes, you see it's no longer communication. So if I put this power through a test light again in pin 19, and I retry, immediately the ABS module is talking. So nothing wrong with this module, nothing to harm the EBCM, sorry, the BCM. It's not shorted, because if this will be shorted right here, Ben, this will light up. This light is not even dim. It's nothing in here. Let me take the light that I put on the top so we can get a little more shadow. But as you can see, there is absolutely no light. So there is absolutely no power or consumption being done as far as the ground. So this is just a signal that needs power in there. And if it would be needing an amperage, again, it will not work. So this is just a wake up signal, let's call that, right? Even though they call that communication data. But your assumption as far as the BCM being the problem in here is correct. I don't see any problems. And yes, I did see some corrosion on the pin 1. So you need to clean that up and so on the vehicle, on the connector. But as far as the problem, everything is on the BCM. So Ben, let me see what I can see. I'm going to open that BCM and see if it's something that we can repair or not. Because some of these computers, The problem is on one IC that cannot be found. All right, so let me stop the video, guys, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to stop the video here and get in as part one. I was able actually to find out the problem on the BCM, but I don't have the part in stock, so this is going to take like 4 or 5 days to get it here, and then I can do the tests. Sorry about that. Then I can do the test, and that will be coming on part two. But yep, as you can see, I have the module now completely removed from the case, and let me just show you a closer picture so you get to see how that looks inside. So let me just get you over to the screen. Give me 1 second just to make sure the iPad is actually connected. Give me 1 second on that. I was doing the work, and sometimes when I do that, it disconnects. All right, so perfect, we're there. All right, so let me move you over to the display with a picture in the screen. All right, so this is the one end on the BCM. This is the entire board. Let's say, upper section, and then the lower section. The one before, yeah, this is the lower section. Pretty simple module, and definitely I can see the Ben was here poking because I can see scratches all over the board. So probably he likes to do electrical testing. I can definitely see. I mean, with all respect, I'm saying this, Ben, but definitely he did a very good diagnostics. So things that I'm a little worried about it is I don't know all the inputs. Like to power up the BCM. That's the only thing. Am I missing an ignition? Am I missing the key on? Because, this is a 2008 diesel, so I don't suspect to have that much of technology there yet. But there is always that possibility, right? So, especially when you got anti-theft system, the key's not being recognized. So, is the BCM not doing that because it's not recognizing the key? It's a little hard to say, and that will be on your end, Ben. I will probably going to contact them. And I will put that on part two, because either way, I already ordered the parts. I checked the IC, integrated circuit. That's what IC stands for. And it's definitely not producing the signal that we need to have to wake up the modules. So let's wait for that on the next part. I'll see you. Please don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and by the way, if you wonder where and how I got this picture, because look at the quality of this image, and this is a JPEG out of a picture. I got a new tool. It's a new camera. I'm using right here. Let me move you here. I'm using the Sony A1, which is the best camera Sony has for recording here. And I have the Sony A7 III, which I'm probably going to get rid of this one to get the new Sony A1 Mark II, which is another great camera. And I like to take, sport photography and wild animal photography. And that's the reason I got this one now. This is the Hasselblad X2D2. This is the greatest camera you can get. The only lens I could find was the 20-35. So this is a little, it's just a wide lens. So I'm waiting for the 35-100, which is still not available probably until the end of December. And I'm waiting on that same, so the backpack, because I'm going to Costa Rica in December, and I want to take this camera and the Sony A1 to get some pictures of what I love, which is nature, waterfalls, animals, and in Costa Rica, it's just animals that you will love. I'm probably going to share some of those in a video when I come back from Costa Rica. I got pictures from Alaska, and I took the Sony A1. Great adventure, great visit, great vacation. But yeah, this is the new tool. Here from my Silverado Diagnostics, I'm going to be using this camera to get high definition, because this is a 100 megapixel camera. This is not even a full frame camera, but it's actually bigger than the Sony. It's just, I mean, if you want to know what this camera is, just go online and look for the X2D Mark II or X2D2 from Hasselblad. And that is, I mean, it's the most wonderful camera I have ever used in my life. And this is only for pictures, no videos, but it's I mean, unbelievable. This is the new toy, a new tool. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.